Hi, my name is Kirsten Redfern. This summer I completed my internship, so today I'm going to share with you what it was and some things I did along with what I learned. I did my internship in the physical therapy clinic at Salina Ortho, close to downtown Salina. The best way to describe my role was a physical therapy tech because I did just about anything and everything I could or was asked to do. I first heard about this internship my junior year of high school when I had a meeting with Professor Minnick. He told me about this internship and how his top students get to do it. Since then, I've been working to hopefully get the chance to do this internship one day, and I was fortunate to get the opportunity. Since I heard about it through Professor Minnick, the application process was different. I just talked to Minnick, and he talked to his wife Peggy about the internship. Between the two of them, I was able to set up the internship with the PTs in the clinic and get started. Before starting my internship, I had some experience in a physical therapy clinic. The summer after my freshman year of college, I shadowed at a clinic back home in Texas called Physical Therapy Partners of North Texas. This is a picture of what the clinic looked like. As you can see, they have some equipment off to the left and then some treatment tables to the right. It was a really nice experience and prepared me well for my internship. These are pictures of what the gym at Salina Ortho looked like. As you can see, they had similar equipment, especially in the bottom left picture. You can see they have a little treadmill, a stepper, and two bikes. Those are the most commonly used ones. And then on the bottom right, they have two arm bikes for people that have shoulder issues. When they come in, they do a little warm up on the equipment. It was very similar to what I had seen and with previously in my shadowing. So I was able to understand how the equipment worked, and there was no learning curve involved with that. And it really got me involved sooner. So my internship lasted 4 weeks, but I continued to go to the clinic longer in order to get more hours for PT school. On a day-to-day basis, I kind of followed the same routine. They had different patients, but a lot of them were total knee patients. So I was doing the same exercises and they all had the same schedule. So the same patients would be in there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday, Thursday with the same group of patients. So I kind of got into the swing of things and understood what was going on. And it really became a routine that I liked. So on a day-to-day basis, I'd take a patient through their exercises and do ultrasounds, put the electrical stimulation on them as well as unhook them, fold laundry, clean the gym, clean the treatment rooms, and really just assist the physical therapist and the physical therapist assistants with whatever they needed. I was really trying to be proactive and do every task that they needed before they asked me to do it because they were nice enough to allow me to be there and I want to make their life easier, not harder. So in my off time, I really didn't get much off time because I was working about 40 hours a week. I'd be there from about 7 to 7:10, and then I'd stay until around 4 to 5, depending on the day and how many patients they had. So on the weekends, that's when I had my off time. And I am still in Salina where I went to school and everything. And I didn't really have much to explore around here, but I decided there's lots of little roadside attractions and things in Kansas that I wanted to explore, but in the 3 years I've been here, I never had the chance to. So on the weekends, I would get with my friend and go explore. This right here is actually a picture of a waterfall I found one weekend when I was exploring. It was a lot of fun. Wouldn't trade that experience for anything. So the people I worked with are Steve, Nate, Jessica, and Stacia. They're the four PTs there. And then Mark, Amanda, and Riley are the physical therapist assistants. I mainly worked with Mark actually. And that was interesting seeing the PTA side. He did a lot of the same stuff. He basically just couldn't do the evaluations. But I also follow Steve. Those were the two that I was always with, and sometimes Nate. But I mainly stuck with Mark and Steve. and I am so grateful for every opportunity that they gave me. So I did face a couple challenges in my internship. The first one I faced was my confidence. It was probably the biggest challenge, having confidence in myself. In the beginning, I was very timid and did not want to correct patients because I thought I would tell them wrong, and I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. By the end, I was able to take patients through their treatments from start to finish on my own, and even got the opportunity to take a patient through their treatment on my own. My confidence grew exponentially each week, but it took me out of my comfort zone to gain that confidence. I did surprise myself by how willing I was able to step out of my comfort zone when working with these patients. The other challenge I faced was learning all of the abbreviation and names for the exercises, as well as how each therapist wanted something done differently than the other. They would call the same exercise something different, so I had to learn multiple names and multiple abbreviations for the same exercise, as well as learn how to do the exercises correctly. I had some experience with the exercises through my classes, especially therapeutic exercises, where we learned a lot of them. But yet again, they were called something different in the class. In the beginning, I had to write them all down and refer to my notes as I was going through the exercises with the patients in order to make sure I was doing it correctly. So that kind of goes along with the lessons I learned of how to do the exercises. But one of the most interesting things I learned was about ASTEM. I had heard about GRASTEM before in therapeutic modalities, but I never heard of ASTEM. They are essentially the same thing, but the difference is in the shape of the tools and the material they're made of. ASTEM uses plastic and is made for the therapist's hands, while GRASTEM is made of metal and are not as easy to hold. As you can see in these two pictures right here, the big one on the left is the ASTEM, and there's only 3 tools, and then the bottom right picture is GRASTEM, and there are a bunch of different tools, but they don't seem as easy. Like, just looking at them, they don't seem as easy to hold, and they aren't as easy to hold. They were basically developed by the same people. However, when they were going into production and design, the partners had a disagreement and they split and went their separate ways. So they do the same thing, just a little bit differently with a little bit different technique. The other thing I learned a lot about was physics. I'd taken physics, but I never understood the importance of physics in physical therapy. The main thing that we learned was about the lever arm and how having things closer to your body, it's easier to do, and having it further away makes it more difficult. An example is they have 2 different exercises. They have the short arc quad and a long arc quad. So in the short arc quad, they're laying on their back and they put a foam roller under the knees, and then keeping the knee on the foam roller, you just kind of lift your heel off the table. And it's a short arc because you're really only focusing on knee down. Where long arc, you sit on the edge of the table and you kick your you yet again, you just move from the knee down, but you have more range of motion going behind you, and then you're also able to kick higher up. So you have a longer lever arm. And so when you add more weight, it's harder to do the long arc than the short arc. And then it also plays a role in ultrasound and how there's a crystal inside the ultrasound head, and then it heats up the tissue through the waves. So, in conclusion, after completing my internship, I know that physical therapy is what I want to go into, and I'm excited about my future. Working with patients and building relationships with them was my favorite part. I was able to sit there and have a conversation with the patient and learn some things that I never knew about before. I learned so much about implementing what I had learned in the classroom into real life scenarios, and it helped solidify that information that I learned in the classroom but didn't realize how important it was. And finally, I am so thankful for the opportunity to complete my internship, and I could not have asked for a better experience.